This is news analysis coming to you live on Politics and Business Television Abuja. Good afternoon and many thanks for joining us on the program for today. I am Dunka Felicia Michael. The headlines: Iran-US conflict may raise Nigerians' fuel prices. Army Major: 10 terrorists killed in foiled attacks on military bases. Iran strike fallout, Shiite protests erupt in north. Chaos at Lagos Abuja airport as fan begins cashless policy. On the foreign scene, US jets crash in Kuwait. Iran says no Trump talks. Details of these stories and more to come shortly after the break. Do stay with us. Energy experts and downstream operators have warned that Nigeria may witness a fresh increase in petrol and diesel prices if global crude oil prices surge above $90 per barrel amid escalating tensions between the United States and Iran. The warning comes as hostilities in the Middle East triggered fresh volatility in the global oil market, raising concerns over the vulnerability of Nigeria's domestic fuel pricing structure, despite the country's push for local refining. Recent checks across major cities indicate that petrol currently sells between 800 and 824 naira and 880 naira per liter, depending on location, logistics, and cost, and the marketer involved. Following the latest price adjustment by the Dangote Petroleum Refinery. The development comes after the refinery reduced its premium motor spirit petrol gantry price by 25 naira per liter, lowering the ex-depot rates from 799 naira to 774 naira per liter in February 2024. Five energy experts in separate interviews with our correspondents on Sunday said the recent US-Iran conflict could have far-reaching effects on global crude oil prices, warning that any sustained escalation of hostilities, particularly around the strategic Strait of Hormuz, is already feeding risk premiums into the market. As of 10 p.m. on Sunday, Brent crude traded at $72.8 per barrel, while West Texas Intermediate stood at $67.02. Nigerian's burning light crude oil was priced at $78.62 per barrel. Analysts warned the situation could on forward operating bases in Mayantin, Gajigana, and Gajiram in Borno State between February 28 and March 1, 2026. In a statement signed by the Media Information Officer Headquarters Joint Task Force Northeast, Operation Hadinkai, Lieutenant Colonel Sani Uba, the military said the attacks were successfully foiled, with troops retaining control of all positions. According to him, FOB Mayati came under heavy attack on February 28, adding that troops repelled the assault and later recovered 5 bodies of the attackers. Troops of the Joint Task Force Northeast, Operation Hadinkai, have once again demonstrated resilience and battlefield dominance by decisively foiling coordinated ISWAP attacks on FOBs Mayetin, Gajigana, and Gajiram, while intensifying offensive operation across sector 2 how diesel polluted well lives Oyo community residents. 5 of the terrorists were killed in Mayanti, 3 at Gajiram, and 2 during the Gajigana attacks. The failed assault launched between the late hours of 28 February and early hours of 1st March 2026 underscored the growing desperation of terrorist elements under sustained pressure on their enclaves, logistics corridors, and leadership structures. While the attack Gajigana was successfully thwarted, troops maintaining full control of their position, the encounters at Mayatin and Gajiram resulted in significant terrorist casualties and the recovery of substantial combat equipment. OPHK's sustained offensive posture continues to deny terrorists freedom of action, forcing them into disorderly retreats with heavy losses. He said items recovered include 3 PKT automatic anti-craft guns, 2 RPG 7 tubes, 4 AK-47 rifles, 2 FN rifles, 3 RPG bombs, and quantities of 7.62 million ammunition. Uba also confirmed that an officer was killed during the encounter by a large number of terrorists. Gallant troops held firm despite intensive enemy fire as reinforcements fought through ambush and IED threats to rout the attackers. Still on security matters, members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria, IMN, popularly known as Shias, led by Ibrahim El-Zakzaky, yesterday protested in Gombe, Niger, and Kano, Bauchi, Yobe, and Sokoto states over the killings of Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei in a joint US-Israeli airstrike. This is even as the Nigerian police force has ordered all the commissioners of police in the 26 states and the Federal Capital Territory to heighten surveillance across the country. The force directed them to pay a particular attention to the north central, northeast, and northwest of Nigeria amidst tensions in the Middle East. Shias and Iran are connected by shared faith, religious leadership, history, and a common sense of global identity, with Iran acting as the symbolic and practical hub of Shia Islam. Protests by the Shias were also reported in Kano, Bauchi, and Yobe states yesterday. They gathered after observing prayers, marched from their religious center in the Tudunwadam Pantami area of Gombe metropolis. They displayed placards with inscriptions denouncing the incident and called for justice. Speaking on behalf of the protesters, Sheikh Mohammed Abari Gombe described the US-Israeli airstrikes against Iran as unfortunate and unacceptable. He urged followers to remain calm and law-abiding while continuing to express their views through peaceful means. The protesters said the demonstration was intended to register their grievances and show solidarity for Iran. Security presence was observed in parts of the metropolis during the procession. In Niger State, Shias were also reported to have staged a similar protest yesterday, marching through parts of the state, chanting solidarity slogans and waving Iranian flags and placards with inscriptions like "We stand with Iran," "Free Iran," and other anti-US and anti-Israel messages. In a statement circulated among its supporters, the IMN expressed deep sorrow over the martyrdom of Khamenei, vowed to continue to support Iranians and resist what they termed Western interference in Middle Eastern affairs. Following the protest by members of the IMN, The Acting Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, according to a statement by the first spokesman, Benjamin Hundeyin, yesterday ordered all the commissioners of police in the states and the Federal Capital Territory to heighten surveillance across Nigeria. Disu directed the CPS to pay a particular attention to the north central, the northeast, and the northwest of the country amid developments in the Middle East occasioned by the US-Israeli airstrikes against Iran. The acting IGP asked the police commissioners to heighten surveillance and intelligence gathering by strengthening collaboration with traditional and religious leaders to incite unrest or sectarian tension. The statement read in part, the Inspector General of Police, AG, IGP Olatunji Disu, reassures all Nigerians of the unwavering commitment of the Nigerian police force to the protection of lives, property, and national peace in light of evolving geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. Nigerians remain stable and its internal security situation firmly under control. The force has reinforced proactive intelligence-led policing measures across the country. The Nigerian police force reiterated that Nigeria will not serve as a threat, as a theater for foreign conflicts. Any attempt to import external ideological and religious tensions into the country will be met with the full weight of the law. On the foreign scene, Ali Narijani, the Secretary of Iran's National Security Council, Israel says it is striking at the heart of Tehran and is launching attacks on Lebanon after Hezbollah fired a barrage of rockets at northern Israel. Lebanon's health ministry says more than 30 killed in the Israeli attacks. Kuwait's defense ministry says several U.S. warplanes have crashed in the country. All the crew survived. U.S. President Donald Trump has warned that attacks on Iran will continue until all objectives are achieved and has promised to avenge the deaths of Hyperlink. Now for sports news, let's join Abel Sunday.
Hello, welcome to the P&B Sport News Update on about Sunday. We start with a developing story out of Morocco. The 2026 Women's WAFCON, originally set to begin this month, has been officially postponed due to organizational hurdles. While France waits for new dates, the focus shifts to the next game. The road to AFCON 2027 officially begins with qualifiers on March 23rd. Plus, the CAF Champions League knockout stage is set. March 13th is a heavyweight quarter-final clash between Al Ahly and Esperance de Tunis. Switching to the court, the Basketball Africa League Season 6 tips off on March 27th. Pretoria will host the Kalahari Conference featuring our own Marktown Flyers and the Johannesburg Giants. And in athletics, Botswana is officially your host for the 2026 World Athletics Relay coming this May. Finally, Egypt has officially signed on to host the 2027 African Games in Cairo next January. That's your P&B Sport News Update. I'm Abel Sunday. Stay tuned for more news analysis.
And that wraps up today's program. But the headline again: raise Nigerians' fuel prices. Army measure: 10 terrorists killed in foiled attacks on military bases. Iran strike fallout. Shared protests erupt in North. On the foreign scene, U.S. jets crash in Kuwait. Iran says no Trump talks. For more updates and in-depth analysis, follow Politics and Business Television English on YouTube and Facebook. Connect with us on Instagram at P&B Television English and TikTok at P&B Television English. Remember to subscribe and stay informed. From me, Dunka Felicia Michael, it's bye for now.